Hi guys, for this week's video I'm going to be painting my tarot card reading. This reading was done by one of my good friends Bethany, and I hope you enjoy. Now don't get me wrong, I'm super skeptical when it comes to this kind of stuff, but I like to keep an open mind, and she just got her deck and she wanted to give me a reading. So I wasn't going to turn her down because this stuff is kind of fun, honestly. And when I got my reading, it kind of shook me to my core. It was so specific in everything about my life, so I kind of wanted to share it with you guys. So the first card she pulled was for my past, and I got a 7 of Swords. Now, if you know me, you know my lucky number, and my favorite number of all time is 7. I use it for every joke I make. I use it for any time I need to pick a number for myself, which isn't very often, but it is my favorite number. And on top of that, I was born on 2/27/97 at 1:47 a.m. So that was not even intentional. That's just a coincidence, I guess. Bethany then described this card as a guy holding the weight of a bunch of swords with 2 standing behind him. This card is about betrayal that you may have experienced. You probably trusted someone only for them to let you down. To get past this past card, you have to put a lot of thought and attention toward your goals and putting yourself first. To put it vaguely, when I was younger, 2 people in my life kind of like left me in the dust. And I would say that that was betrayal, and that's how I felt about it all my life. Since I was a child, I've always been super independent. Like when I was 8 years old, I made the decision to live with my grandparents. Like I was always looking out for me and only me. It just feels so strangely specific. It just feels so strangely specific to me, the fact that there are 2 swords in his past that he needs to get over, and there are 2 people in my past, and now I'm starting my career. I'm feeling so much more healed than I was growing up, and don't get me wrong, I have a lot more growing and healing to do, but I'm definitely better than where I was as a teen. Even though I relate so heavily to these cards, I wouldn't say that I'm not skeptical anymore. I still am super skeptical, but there's a lot to say about energy and what you put out into the world and how that can come back to you. I don't know, it's just really fascinating to think about. I really enjoy it, and at the end of the day, it's like self-discovery. That's why I've been getting so into horoscopes, because it's like Christians have the Bible to help them find themselves. And I don't know if I believe in God or if I believe in anything, but I do believe in energy. Which is why I think praying is so effective, because it's a collective group of humans thinking and putting their energy towards one thing. And that's why I think that this idea is so cool to play with, and I just enjoy it. And the man in the 7 of Swords, he's holding a bunch of swords while 2 stand behind him, and it's the burden of the swords that he's holding. And I don't see anything in my life particularly as a burden. There are some things in my life that I feel like I'm just far too young to be thinking about and planning for right now, but that's just where my life is. I think as I grow up and as I get stronger, I will be able to handle all of the challenges coming my way. As of right now, I just need to focus on not focusing on the negative. Focusing a little bit more on the art, I was very open with these drawings. I put down hard sketches of what I wanted, but I didn't plan out a color scheme like I normally do. I had a lot of fun with some gouache paints. I had a lot of fun with mixed media. At the end, I feel like my coloring skills are getting better. I'm proud of how it turned out. The next card was for my present, which she pulled the strength card. She says, this card is Lady petting a lion. Basically, she tamed the beast. You have been able to overcome an obstacle in your life. The lion is a wild animal and you may have feared it, but you find strength in facing your fear and moving forward, showing persistence to reach your goal. When facing a conflict, you must do so with forgiveness, love, and compassion in order to tame the lion. This reading was also very shakening to me because I had just gotten my first job. Not like my first job of all time, but my first job in my actual career. I finally got it. It took me 9 months to find a job. And the fact that she pulled that card at that time, like, that's insane. That's just absolutely insane. I couldn't believe it. I fully understand how these cards can relate to anyone. I definitely can. But when you pull out a card for your past that almost exactly describes your past to the number of your past is crazy. And to pull out a card for your present that almost perfectly describes your present, wow. Insane. Truly insane. It says that I find strength in facing my fear and moving forward, and that has shown itself to be true in that time, because when I got my job, I got my confidence back because I had accomplished this goal that felt impossible.
I stand beneath your song, your moon. The night will pass, my darling, soon. The wild dogs bark, but wait, stand still. They'll chase you down, but won't kill. The gray seems grayer in your eyes, the bright shade of your bluest light. You say everything's just perfect. Everything.
So I kind of got a little bit carried away with this one and the oil pastels. I go a little weird with it, especially on the girl's face. I think in the end it turns out all right. It's probably not my favorite one, but I had a lot of fun using different, just like experimenting a little bit almost. Like, why am I putting this oil pastel on her face? It looks kind of bad, but I think it comes together more in the end, and I was panicking at this part because I thought I had ruined it. I also want to give a little update about my job. I love it. It really challenges me. It allows me to try a bunch of new things, learn a bunch of new things. They actually made me take like an employee test when I first started working there, and I haven't really looked back at it until recently, and I'm kind of disturbed at how it perfectly got my working style. There is such a theme in this video, as you can see. I love like all these different tests and quizzes. This one was kind of crazy though, because it just made me put down adjectives that I thought were relative to me in my social life, and then adjectives that were relative to me in my working life. And the fact that it could really nail down all of these things with just me telling them words is insane. I want to know who's coming up with these tests. Who's creating these tests? Are they scientists? Are they sociologists? Like, who are they? Who are they and how are they qualified? Also, I want to know how they're doing this, mainly because I want to join in. Let's create our own test, maybe? Sounds fun. This is a tip for all the artists out there. If you feel like your contrast isn't good enough, just put a white outline around your subjects.
You say everything.
For my future, she pulled the moon. She says that the moon can be a bit scary. The sun brings light during the day, but the moon is the opposite. It has one dog and one wolf howling at the moon, representing the tame and the wild inside you. In your future, you may have to face more fears. There may be something that comes up that you haven't quite dealt with yet, some past trauma. Don't make any fast decisions. Put a lot of thought into what you're doing, even if you feel as though you've already reached your goals. Being that I can't see into the future, I can't really approve anything that's being said about this card. It is interesting to think about, and it'll be interesting to look back on when I'm in the future. See if it's got any credibility. And judging off of patterns, I will say it does. I'll keep you updated. So I'm curious, do you guys have any alternative outlets that you use to kind of do some self-discovery? Because I think these kind of things are very fun, from like Myers-Briggs, Enneagrams, just horoscopes, any kind of anything that just makes you be introspective, I think is so fun. So if you have any that you want me to try, let me know, because I'm always down. Even just the simple Harry Potter sorting test, just anything like that. Wow. Chef's kiss. So the moon card says that I shouldn't make any fast decisions and should put a lot of thought into what I'm doing, even if I feel like I've already reached my goals. So I wonder if that has anything to do with like my plans for the future. I mean, future plans change all the time. I probably change mine like once a week, to be honest. But right now I've been lingering on the idea of trying to like max out my career in Columbus as much as I can, and then level up to like New York or some bigger city like that. And that's only so I don't have to start so small in New York. You know, I can have a more established career and hopefully be a little more comfortable than if I had just moved to New York right now. I know that plans never work out as you plan them. I probably will move to New York one day, fully established in my career, and still be super uncomfortable because it's still a new environment. And I'm probably totally ignorant to that whole world entirely because I haven't really lived anywhere outside of Ohio. But it's something I need to experience. Even if I don't love the places I move to, I know I always have a home to come back to, which is really nice. I also have desires to live in Portland, Oregon, Austin, Texas, and Denver, Colorado. So maybe I'll try to squeeze those in eventually. How do people decide on where to move? There's just too many options, honestly. You give me some options and I'm probably gonna stay put. Focusing back in on the artwork, I feel like I really connected with my old high school emo self when I was making these. Specifically this moon one, I got the skulls, I got the flowers, we got emo, we got edgy, we got all of that in this one, and I am living for it. I think 2020 is me bringing back my emo phase. Hint, hint, I have a recreating my old emo artwork video coming out soon, so keep your eyes out. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, then please subscribe because I post a video every single week. And I hope this will inspire you to try something new. Try something and maybe learn something new about yourself. See you next week, y'all.